Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome to another video. This is probably going to be our final video on our Alexa skills. Oh yes, this is going to be the final setup video for what we are doing in building a custom Alexa skill that will interact with the GPIO on your Raspberry Pi, or in what we've begun to call it now, the AlexaPi, essentially. So, as always, the prerequisites for this video are previous videos I have, which I should be able to put in the cards section. Should be down a little I somewhere, wherever, somewhere around here. And smacking my stuff here. If you click on that, I'll put in the cards the other videos that are leading up to this one. So you want to have the AlexaPi installed on your Raspberry Pi. You'll need to have Home Assistant installed. And like I said in videos before, I actually have two Raspberry Pis, one for Home Assistant and one for the AlexaPi, but I'm totally 100% confident that you should be able to install them both on the same Raspberry Pi. I just haven't done it. I may make a video about that, at least to show you guys that it really does work. So you need to have those two things installed. At this point in creating the skill, you need to have your developer console, the skill actually created in the developer portal for Amazon, as well as you need to have the AWS, Amazon Web Service, Lambda function set up. And then this is where this video will pick up, is right after setting up the Lambda function. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by taking a peek at how we are going to end up testing this. So right now I have my Raspberry Pi all set up here. This is the Home Assistant one that has Home Assistant running on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have set up a couple of things. I have set up on the Raspberry Pi, I've made the connection where I have connected pin 12 to pin 16 so we can see it operating. And what I'm going to do is right now live, I'm going to edit the configuration YAML file, or .yaml file, and I am going to change up one of our scenes and put another word in there, or at least name it differently, and then set that up in my developer portal where I can call that second test LED. So what we're going to do is we'll set that up right now. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So first off, we're going to go to Home Assistant, and I'm doing this on the fly, by the way, just so you guys can see it. I'm going to sudo open up our config file here, go all the way down. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to change this. Instead of this reading, we'll say instead of test LED, let's see, test 2 on, we are going to name this, we'll name it test room. Let's say you're doing room lights, so we'll test room on. That's what we're going to call this. And then we will have the next one be test room off. All right, and that's going to be the second, excuse me, LED. Okay, so now we're going to save this with right quit. Now, how do you know whether it's actually working or not? Instead of having another camera and trying to put all those together and do all this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test it with the Raspberry Pi. Now, at least this new version of the Raspbian image is what I'm using, which I'm using Pixel, which is the Jessie version of it. Wiring Pi is already installed natively, so I can say GPIO -G, which the -G switch allows you to call the GPIO pins by their actual pin number. And what I have is I have pin 12, okay, is my output pin wired physically jumpered to GPIO 16. Okay, so GPIO 12 to GPIO 16 is what I have. So that way, when I turn 12 on and off, because 12 is wired up to my, if you remember that in here, 12 is wired up. See down here, I have 12 wired up to my test LED 2, which is the one that we just set up with the test room. Okay, so basically I've jumpered 12 back to 16, so I can do a GPIO-G read 16. And right now, pin 16 is sitting at 0 because pin 12 is sitting at 0. Okay. Now, if I do a GPIO-G write 12, I believe it's 1. I just wrote a 1 to GPIO 12. I should be able to, when I look at 16, now 16 is a 1. See? Because it's outputting 5 volts on GPIO 12. I've jumpered that to 16. So there we go. Now, if I do a write on 12 and I write it to 0, we should see that it's now gone back to 0. Okay? Similarly, if I go to it, I'm going to pull up my Amazon Web Services. Or not web service, I'm going to pull up the actual deal. So if I do this and pull up, oh yeah, I got to type in my password. If I remember what it is. I did a pretty complicated one. Let's see, then it's got all kinds of ups and down, capitals. And okay, here we go. Excuse me, I don't mean to be coughing on microphone. Sounds like my kids came home, so now my dog's going to be barking. Excuse the barking. Good heavens. Anyway, so now basically what I can do, if I pull up, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to switch on that LED, that test 2 LED, okay? Hang on just a second, guys. Okay, excuse me. I didn't want to cough like really loud on that camera. That'd be bad. All right, so now that I've turned test 2 LED on, now our GPIO 16 should be a 1, and it is. See that? So this is a way that I can test without actually having to have the Raspberry Pi like in my face and have an LED hooked to it. I can test to see if it's if it really is turning on and off. So now if we turn it off, read 16, it's now 0. Okay? So that's how we're going to do that. My dog is barking at my kids. I don't know why. It's just bizarre. He sees them every day. Anyway, so that's basically how we're going to test all of this out, by checking to see if this is really going to work. Well, since I changed the configuration file, okay, since I changed the configuration file down here, as you can see, since I made those changes, I'm going to have to restart the service. So to do that, I'm going to switch user. Switch user to my Home Assistant, and I'm going to oh, wait, I started this with the system service. My bad. I don't need to switch user. I just stay as Pi. So I'm going to do a sudo systemctl stop assistant at Pi. And that should stop it. And as you can see, I don't know if you see that, I got the connection lost because it's restarting. Okay. So now I'm going to just up arrow that and change the stop to start. And then here's the cool thing. If you take this and do this with an ampersand, runs it in the background, you can tail the journal file. I just found that out. If you do a sudo journal ctl-f-u on Home Assistant at Pi, you can actually watch the startup sequence. You don't have to do that -L thing. So yeah, in my previous video, I said just do the -L over and over and over. Yeah, you don't really necessarily have to do that. You can watch it restart here. And since I'm not doing any major changes, except for just renaming that stuff, it should fire up pretty quick. We should get back into the scanning mode fairly fast. So I think that's where we're at now, is it's redoing the media player stuff. And so you can just watch it scroll. Okay. So while that's starting, we can go ahead and get into our Alexa development board. So we're going to go to Alexa, pull up our skill. Okay, our custom skill, go into edit. And then now that we're in this skill, I'm going to switch over to test. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is you can do a couple of different things. I'm going to go ahead and turn my speaker on. You can type in stuff here to see how Alexa will actually say it. So like, okay, activate was our return response, right? So if I hit listen, should be able to hear it. Hopefully my mic's loud enough.
Okay, activate.
I don't know if you heard that. Turn it up louder.
Okay, activate.
Okay, see? So that's basically how you can test phonetically how she's going to pronounce things. You can do that here, as well as down here is the main utterance. What you do is you'll type in your what you would actually speak to Alexa, and then it will generate the JSON file that it will then send to the AWS server. Okay, that's why up here it says use selected server, your Lambda function. It's showing you that, and that should be your ARN number for your Lambda function. Okay, it'll send it to the Lambda function. It will then in turn log into your Pi, because remember we put that, you put your dynamic address or your IP address or whatever in along with your password. It will log into your Pi and it will issue the statement, okay, that we wanted to issue. And then over here, this Lambda response, that should generate basically a JSON of our reply, basically the OK activate that we put in Home Assistant. You should see that show up right here. And that lets you know that it actually went to the Raspberry Pi and it has now come back, okay? And this is without actually having to talk to the Raspberry Pi and or talk to the Alexa and maybe it have, problems interpreting your voice. You can type in exactly what you're wanting to and make sure that that works before you try actually speaking to the Alexa and seeing if it will get it. So we'll do that here in a second. I'm going to check and make sure we're back into, it looks like it. Looks like we're back going. So I'm going to Control-C out of this, and then I'm going to go back to my Home Assistant and reload the page. And yes, it looks like it's doing it. So now I got to type in my gigantic password that I made. There we go. Hopefully, yep, there we go. So okay, so it looks like it's scooted things around a little bit, but basically it should work. So now we have the test room on and off. So if we activate that, yep, it turns on the LED 2. We activate the other one, it shuts it back off. Okay. Real simple. So now that sets it up. Now what we have to do first is I'm going to go back. So I'm going to go back to interaction model and I'm going to put that in. I'm going to edit the. Okay guys, sorry for the bump in the video. My camera's battery just went. So I got it plugged into AC power now. So we should be good. Okay, so picking up where we left off, I'm going to delete these two because I don't need them. Okay, and I'm going to type in these other ones. So test room, and can you see this here? I'm going to zoom in. Okay, test room on, and there's going to be a test room off. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and it should build the Alexa skill, and then it has to regenerate the model to add those slots in for that scene. So we'll just be patient and let that load. Once that is done, then we'll be able to run a test, and we'll run a test utterance of that. So it gives it just a few seconds. It has to upload. Successfully updated the interaction model. All right, right on. So now we're going to go to test. I'm going to back off. Go to test. Testing is enabled. Okay, we're ready to rock. So I'm going to zip like this. That way I don't have to keep in post-production blurring out that ARN. Oh, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably going to take all this apart, probably regenerate it and do different things after it's over with, so I don't really worry too much about somebody hacking it. Anyway, so sample utterance. So we're going to basically test this out. So I'm gonna say Alexa, okay, and then I'm gonna say ask Home Assistant, okay, to activate, and then we'll do that test LED. So we're gonna say, I see a head. Playing with the dog? You're putting its shirt on the dog? My daughter is shirting my dog. Well, our dog, technically. It's the family pooch. All right, so, well, there's some entertainment for you in the background if you want to watch that happen. Anyway, it's never a dull moment in my house. It really is not. It's never a dull moment. So to activate, we're going to say the test room on. So we want her to activate that test room on scene. Okay, so you press the button, and if all goes well, it should generate the JSON, send it to the Lambda function. The Lambda function should send it to Home Assistant, and Home Assistant should return back that it did it. Okay, so moment of truth. Let's push go. So off it goes, waiting for response, and everything is good. If you see blue text over here, that means that it went okay. Sometimes you'll get an error message, and it'll tell you the error message. Now, here's a cool thing that you can do while you're testing this stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Can I split screen this? Yeah. All right. So what you can do is that journal command. use that journal command, and you should see this scroll, okay? Because the Amazon one, it just basically will tell you couldn't reach designated device or something like that. It gives you very little to go on. So if you really want to see what's actually happening, to see if it's even reaching your Raspberry Pi, or if for some reason maybe you got a setup wrong and it's not even getting there, maybe you didn't port forward properly or something like that, you can see that here. And I'll show you. I'll send this again. And you should see this scroll, okay? And if there's any errors or anything that it can't find or problems, you should see that in the scrolling log that's here. So let's go ahead and hit ask it. Okay, see it actually scroll. So it scrolled through it. Let's see if I can, yep, switch test LED to, there it is. So it saw it. It also returned it. So there you go. So that's how you can tell that it actually made it to your Raspberry Pi, okay? So that is basically it so far as testing. I mean, sometimes what I found is sometimes you'll see that if it says unknown method. In fact, let me just show you a problem that I was running into. Maybe you guys will run into it too. What I was running into is in my configuration file, the way I had it set before is I had this scene thing set to something different, this name set to something different, and so I kept getting an error that said it could not find what I put in here. And then that's when I realized that I had to create this whole scene area. I was trying to use switch. I was just trying to say switch.turn-on, and it would sort of work, but it would never turn it back off. And it's because this action, this scene.turn-on, only activates a scene. Okay, only activates a scene, and so in order to get the on and the off or different things to happen, I have to create a whole scene setup with different names that I can use as an utterance in Alexa. Okay, so that was a problem that I was having, and what I was getting was when I was in that journal file, and I was watching it here, it would tell me that it couldn't find that name of that thing that I was doing. And so that was what led me to debug that. So I don't know, that sounds confusing, but I hope it maybe helps you a little bit if you're running into it. That's how I got past that. But that's basically it. So now we have the moment of truth. I'm going to take the camera and switch it around, and we're going to fire up my AlexaPi, and we're going to see how it actually works. Oh, wait. One more bit of testing. Let's see if it actually did it. Shall we? We can check in a couple of places. It said that it activated and turned it on. So when I go back to my Alexa or my Home Assistant, I should see that on. People are walking behind me. And there it is. LED 2 is on. So now if I ask Alexa to turn it off, I change this to off up here and I send it. Came back with OK. It is now off. So it seemingly is working. Now, let's go one step further, make absolutely sure that it's working, and we'll run the GPIO command. And we will read port 16. Currently, it's off. All right. So let's send an on to it from our app, from our skill. Says it's okay, says it did it. And it truly does turn it on. Okay, so the GPIO now has 5 volts coming out of it. You can hook that to a relay, to LEDs, to, all kinds of, whatever that you want to hook it to. Something to power up something. I mean, you never know. That's up to you guys. And then similarly, let's send an off. Send an off. Says that it went. Let's make sure it's off, and it is off. Perfect. So it seemingly works. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right here, and we're going to shift it around, and we're going to point it at the bench over here, and we're going to see if we can't actually speak to the Alexa and get it to work. All right, let me set this up. I'll be right back. Okay, hey guys. All right, so I got it set up, pointed towards the bench. I'm just going to show you this real quick, and then we'll do a close-up. I've got my one Raspberry Pi sitting right here. It has the light on it. Got the other one set up to run the app. I'll try to cover up the microphone. To run Alexa is the idea. What time is it?
The time is 8:15 p.m.
So that's all set up and running on the other Pi. Like I said, you should be able to integrate these together on the same device. While I was messing with it, I didn't want to mess up the one device while I was testing it, so I tested on a separate device. So I'll do a separate video showing that it all works together on one Pi. I cannot see any reason why it wouldn't work. So I'm going to turn the camera around, point it at the bench so we can see what's going on, and then we'll talk to her and see if she'll turn our light on and off for us. All right? Be back in just a minute. Okay guys, so I got everything put over here on the bench. So here is the Raspberry Pi. I have limited cord, so you have to deal with it. That has the LED on it, as you can see. And then my other Raspberry Pi over here is our one that's running the application. So got it all fired up. Let's see if it works with actually audibly talking to it. Now, again, I have not done anything so far as setting anything up special, just from the original video that I did on how to build one of these systems on the Raspberry Pi. Trying to avoid saying the name of it so that the system doesn't activate and recognize and do weird things. So, but basically building this, if you set it up as a developer, you should be good to go. You don't have to do anything else as long as your test is successful on the developer page, then your speech should be successful as well. So let's give it a try. Hopefully I don't bumble through it. Here we go. Alexa, ask Home Assistant to activate test LED on.
I can't find that skill. To find skills, go to the skills section of the Alexa app.
Okay, so I fumbled through it on accident. All right, let's go again. Alexa, ask Home Assistant to activate test LED on.
Okay.
There we go. Awesome. All right, let's try it again. Alexa, ask Home Assistant to activate test LED off.
Okay, activated.
Awesome. There we go. And see, she even responds with the OK activated, just as we programmed in the Home Assistant YAML file. Okay? All right. One more time. We got to do it one more time. Alexa, ask Home Assistant to activate test LED on.
Okay, activated.
I could play with this all day. Alexa, ask Home Assistant to activate test LED off.
Okay, activated.
Cool. Okay guys, so you've just seen that all work together and work like it was supposed to. This was a project. It really was. This has been a lot of thought and a lot of effort. It's been a lot of fun and a lot of work to get it to function properly. Like I said, this is just my rendition of this, using the Home Assistant and basically bouncing it off of the Alexa stuff, and she'll probably hear that. Say hi. I don't know what she just did. Anyway, so it's been a lot of fun integrating this all together and getting this to work. But if you guys know of anything that's simpler or faster to integrate this all together, then by all means put it down in the comments. I would love to hear it. Like I said, fan of the KISS principle. So if it goes, I'm gonna turn her off for a minute because it's distracting. If you find anything that goes faster, please let me know. It'll benefit all of us here in the community. And anyway, so take care, guys. I got lots more videos. I even have more stuff coming. I got all kinds of stuff that I've ordered, so tons more videos coming. Hopefully this year will be a great year of videos and lots of stuff. I won't have as many distractions. But guys, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. It helps me. Give me thumbs up if you like what you see, thumbs down if you don't. Either way, it's up to you. The choice is yours. So guys, thank you so much for all the support through 2016, and please continue your support through 2017. We should have some great videos coming. I got 3D printing, all kinds of stuff coming up, so it ought to be good. Oh, and by the way, if you want to help the channel out, other than the thumbs up, thumbs down, you can leave me a Bitcoin tip, or you can check out the t-shirts that I have on Zazzle.com/misperry. Every t-shirt you buy, some of those proceeds go to me, which then goes right back to you in these videos so I can buy more equipment. As well as if you need little simple things, I don't know, relays or anything simple, check out ICStation. I have an affiliate link down there. Anything you buy off of that link down below will go to some of the proceed of that cost will come kick back to me, so that again I can funnel you more videos. So it's all for you guys. You guys are great. Take care. Thanks again for watching, and please share this video and all my other videos, and we will catch you next time.